Hello there, YouTube, and welcome to the 2 a.m. streams. I want to preface this stream by making my Scouts Honor guarantee. Whatever topic or whatever question you have, I will promise right now, if it's not a trolley comment, if it's not a comment meant to infuriate me or mess with me, I will answer it to the best of my ability, you know? Because, I mean, there's a lot of trolls out there that want to make trolly comments and ask, like, really personal, deep questions. And I'm like, this is just a live stream on YouTube. This is not meant to delve into into my personal life. But if you ask a personal question and I feel it's valid and I feel it's not intended to piss me off or make me angry, I promise I will do my best to answer it to the best of my abilities. So, one of the things that I've been doing lately is Dankness Falls is sup. So, anyways, I decided to take a listening course on Udemy. Udemy is an online internet university. My question is, why are you up at 3 a.m.? Well, it's not 3 a.m. here. It's 2 a.m. But my best answer to that is I drink a lot of caffeine during the day. So yeah, I drink lots of caffeine and just lots of sugar. What up, Yakvo? Yakvo says, "Hey, Randy." So yeah, recently I took a listening course on Udemy, and I only 1 a.m. here. That's because you are in Canada, Yakvo. Yeah. Where Dankness is, it must be 3 a.m. Mercenary Man 22 says, "My lord, gentlemen." Yes. So yeah, I took a course on listening and I'm certified. And the cool thing about Udemy is that on Udemy, you can get your certification in half the time it takes for most people, because on Udemy you can watch a lot of videos at 200% speed. Now, even though the videos are at 200% speed, you can still understand what they're saying. It just sounds like something like this, like, oh, they're just talking really fast and they're just trying to get all the information out really quick and do it in 2 seconds. That's what it sounds like at 200% speed. Dang This Falls said, "I just turned Diablo 2 Remaster beta off. Decent game." Sounds like one. Randy, audience, ghost, Randy. Hi, Mercenary Man 22. How are you doing today? So yeah, I got my certification in listening, because sometimes I feel like I have a habit of tuning people out and not really being present and being aware. And one of the things they said is that when you're really trying to listen to somebody, you need to be involved in what's known as single tasking, which means you can't be looking at your phone, can't be listening to what's on TV. Hey, what's up, Kylie Smith? Activision Blizzard is garbage, darkness. How you holding up? I'm holding up good. I do pretty well as far as emotions go and everything. I was although my arm is killing me, and I felt kind of like sick and woozy throughout the day because I just got my Moderna shot yesterday. And do you like World of Warcraft? No. What up, Dankness and chat? I don't play a lot of video games, and the reason is besides maybe camaraderie, like if you're playing a video game with somebody, you can chat with them and talk with them. But as far as World of Warcraft goes, I'm not really interested in it, and plus gaming would be really taxing on my PC. Belle Delphine says, "I'm a big fan, Randall." Oh, thank you, Belle. I appreciate it. No, Kylie Smith says, Hi, Miles. I played my fair share. Where is Fears? Fears might be coming in a little bit later on, and we'll see what up with him. But yeah, like one of my suggestions would be that everybody would take a course in listening, and again, like another one of the big things about listening is single tasking, focusing on the person with you and nothing else. Quit paying attention to what's on TV, quit trying to like write while you're talking with somebody, don't play video games while you're talking with somebody, to be there 100%, to be present. I think he said he's working tonight. Yes, he did say he's working tonight. He might come in via phone on his lunch break. I think his lunch break is sometime around 3 or 4 a.m. So he said he might come in. What should we take a lesson in? Lesson: Fears is busy watching Master Chef working. Yeah. Well, if he learns how to cook, it'll be good. So yeah, like I said, I think everybody should take a class in listening and, being a better listener. And working, LOL. Yeah. Uh, and I just want to be more present for the people around me. And then 3 a.m. lunch, hell yeah. Yeah. And one of the other things I learned was like level 2 listening and level 1 listening. LOL. I'm sorry, Randy, I didn't catch that. I was on my phone. You son of a. I'm just joshing. Yeah, people should listen more. Yeah. But yeah, and I was talking with Fears earlier, and I had to distract myself from what I was doing because I was typing. I was looking something up on the internet, and I'm like, Randy, focus. You've got a certificate in this now. You have to use what you learn. So I stopped everything and I just put all my focus on Fears. And then I learned another technique where you tell people, if you can't if you're in the situation where you can't listen 100%, just say, hey, you know what? Look, I can't listen fully right now. Let me talk to you in like 2 or 3 hours when I can totally focus all my attention on you. Because I was actually watching Ancient Aliens with my mom when he called, and I stopped, and my mom was waiting in the other room, and I said, you know what? Mom's waiting in the other room. If I continue this conversation, I'm going to be divided between Fears and my mom. Mom's most important right now. She doesn't, typically women live to the age of 78 or 80. And I'm like, Mom doesn't have that much time left on her hands. So I'm going to stop talking with Fears, start talking with my mom. And then in 3 or 4 hours, which will be around 3 a.m., 4 a.m., I'll start talking to Fears again. Hey, Randy. Hello, everybody. Sup, Randy. Sup, Ghost. Dankness Falls says, hi, Fears. What up, Fears? Fears, do you want to call me and I can put all my attention on you? I'll even flash your number so everybody can see it. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I won't do that. I can't see Fears on this account. Oh. I do not know why that is. This is a free-for-all. It's in Jamboree. Free for everybody. Ha ha. I would do the loud Bill Murray laugh, but my neighbors have been complaining about the noise recently, so can't yell out. I'd like to call Fears. Thanks, Randall. Oh, yeah. Hey, Fears. Ghost, where you been, man? I haven't seen you in my live chats for a long time. Yeah, I wonder why that is. So yeah, Fears, if you want to call me, give me a call. I wouldn't mind talking. And is Fears here? Yeah, Fears is here. He's right there. See, the ghost of these nuts. I think it's because of your main mercenary man. Your main man, mercenary man. Your neighbors sound lame. You should call ICE on them. Oh shit. I don't think ICE would take them, Bell. I really don't. They are American as hell, but they are annoying. Even though, what up, ghosts? I tried to talk to you about it, but you turned that down. Come to the show, ghosts. Come to the show. My mom really, if my music is too loud, my mom will say something. And the guy came over to our house in the morning and said, dude, I had to listen to your stuff for like 3 a.m. And I said, okay. And he warned me, and he was like, oh, if you don't turn that crap down, the next warning isn't going to be from me. The next warning is going to be from the clubhouse. I was like, okay, whatever. Hello?
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 You were on speakerphone.
Hello? Welcome to Habib's Chicken.
How may I help you?
Yes, I would like one order of fries and one order of Habib's Chicken.
Fierce, you are on speakerphone right now, and we are streaming.
I know. I was just joking around. I was just doing my impressions, Randall. Randall, how you been, buddy? Are you feeling any better?
I am feeling significantly better, yes.
Well, that's good, man. That's good. Shout out to the chat. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Hope everybody is well. Hope everybody is doing good. Man, I am so bored at work. There's nothing going on. I wish this guy would hurry up and relieve me so I could go and eat lunch, but he's taking his sweet-ass time, so... Yeah, there's nothing really going on. So what have you been up to, buddy?
Nothing. Just appraising the chat on things that I've done. What I think people should try to do. Like some goals that I think they should set.
Well, Randall, you inspired me, and the chat inspired me. I've been writing more pages for my novel.
All right. How many pages you got so far?
Well, I don't have it in front of me. I think the other day I wrote, what was it? I think like 4 pages I wrote the other day. So
that's cool.
So from top to bottom, bottom to front, 4 pages. But I don't have a total of how many pages. I'll have to go home and count them, and I'll let you know. I'm almost done with the 2nd chapter, so I'm almost going into the 3rd chapter. So, and Randall, I've been talking to some more ladies.
Oh, nice. Signed
up for the dating site. So what goals have you been telling the fans that you want to achieve?
Well, yesterday I got my certification in listening, and I said anybody who wants to prove any relationships should definitely try to cultivate that. And the Udemy course is only like $14, and it is like a course. Like at the end of every module, you get like a test, and then after the tests are done, there's like 14 modules, and at the end of the test, you get like a little certification, like a little diploma type thing that you can print out and hang on your wall. And that's what I did day before yesterday and yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, congrats, Randall.
And thank you.
I'm glad you're feeling better, buddy. I cannot wait to hang out again. We'll probably hang out in about 2 weeks, and I got some more movies coming your way.
Okay.
Because I just bought Smokey and the Bandit, like the entire series.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna give you Smokey and the Bandit number 1, 2, and 3. So you'll have that.
Well, I really want those 10 Dillian Harper DVDs that you showed me. Those are pretty cool.
You'll never get those, Randall. I love me some Yummy Dillian. I'll never get rid of Yummy Dillian.
10 Dillian. You're gonna have to wash the Dillian Harper DVDs off, though. I'm not taking them in the condition that they are.
They're in pretty bad condition, man. Let me tell you, hours of work.
Yeah. Yep.
No, actually, me and Randall are just joking. I actually don't have any Dillian Harper DVDs.
Yeah. You hear that, Dillian Harper? Fierce says you ain't Jack.
No, I never said that. I don't have any of her DVDs.
Wouldn't you want to support Dillian, though?
Oh, I do support Dillian, Randall, but that's why it's called the internet.
Oh, yeah, you just want the free stuff. I see what's going on, Fears.
Hell yeah, Randall Dillion Harper's like 28 hot slut. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know how. I think she's like 28, 29, something like that.
Yep.
Randall, what's your favorite porn star of all time?
Belladonna.
She's pretty hot. She's pretty hot. And you know what, Randall? I'll be honest. Like, Dillion is not even like my favorite one. She's one of my favorites. I think my favorite one
is Kindly Myers.
No, Randall, she's not a porn star. She's a hot model, but she's not a porn star. No, I'd say my favorite porn star of all time. There's this girl. I think she's retired now. But whenever I started watching her, she was like, I don't know, 28, 29, 30, something like that. Look up Brooke Lee Adams. She's pretty hot. Brooke Lee Adams.
Yep.
Anyway, Randall, enough about porn stars, buddy. When the hell are you going to make me the Fierce Man teaser trailer?
Sometime.
Randall, you are the Slave-O-Matic 9000. You should be pumping this stuff out left and right.
Yep.
I'm just joking, buddy. I know you feel bad, so I hope you feel better, and just work on it when you can. Work on it tomorrow, if you want.
All right.
How was the movie with you? And I know you said you wanted to talk to me later. You were watching some movie with your mom.
Yeah, me and my mom were watching Ancient Aliens. It's a series on Prime Video.
Was it a good movie?
It wasn't a movie. It was a series, and we're in the 6th season now. But yeah, it was an interesting show. There's lots of real interesting theories about like the Hopi Indians and.
Randall, let me ask you a question. Do you believe in the little green men? Do you think they're out there?
Well, that is a diverse topic because there are several different instances of. Are you talking about aliens in general or little green men?
Aliens in general.
I do think something is out there, and a lot of these shows make a pretty good case that the original people that we thought were gods were actually aliens.
Well, I'll tell you what, they've already actually found intelligent life, like microscopic organisms they found on Mars. But they're very, very, very tiny organisms. So that's technically an alien. But
would that be qualified as intelligent life, though?
Well, they said from the program that I watched, they said that it would evolve into intelligent life. I didn't watch the whole program, but apparently they found life on Mars. But if we're talking about, the normal-looking alien, how they usually look, like the gray skin with the big head, with the black eyes and all that. I definitely think something's out there. I mean, it can't be just humans, animals, and plant life, the only living thing, out there. There's got to be something else.
Yeah. Well, and then also, I mean, we have rocks with like energy capabilities like magnets and stuff. And, with magnets, you got magnetism and you can push and pull stuff. I mean, on other planets, there are things that are not even going to be on our periodic table of elements. So there might be some sort of rock or crystal out on other planets that could actually provide enough energy for interdimensional travel or interstellar travel. So that it might be.
What about time travel, Randall? Some Back to the Future stuff.
Well, I talked about this with my mom, and Albert Einstein was for time travel. He said if it's logical for someone to move forward in time, it's just as logical for someone to move backwards in time.
Have you ever seen that physicist, Randall? He's on YouTube. He's on, if you buy the Blu-ray version of Back to the Future, he's that Chinese physicist that talks about
Michio Kaku.
Yeah, he's like, time is like a river, an old man river, like twisting and turning. And he's like, if you could create enough energy to bend time like a pretzel, then time travel is possible. But he said you need multiple amounts of high energy to create time travel. And he said, even though Back to the Future is a great movie, he said you would need a lot more than 1.21 gigawatts to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Maybe one day we will have time travel. Anyway, Randall, I just wanted to say hi, buddy. Go ahead and go on with this show. Call me when you're done with this show, man.
Call me again when you get the chance. I will be up and.
Well, call me after your show, son, because I don't want to interrupt. I just wanted to say hi to you, and I wanted to say shout out to the fans. Hope you guys are doing well. And I was bored at work, and if you don't call me, Randall, I'll call you back at should I call you back at like 3:30?
Yeah, do that.
I'll call you back at 3:30, buddy, if I haven't heard from you, because I don't know when I don't know when you're going to end your show, and I want.
Well, we're 20 minutes in, and I plan to go for an hour.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll try and give you a call around 3:30, 3:45, because I really wanted to continue the topic that we were talking about before you had to go.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, buddy, I'll see you later, and see you later, fans. Don't forget to subscribe to Lord Randall and Beers Man, and I'll see you later. Oh, shit, later!
Okay, now, I was doing my listening certification stuff. I did not look at any of the chat while Fears was talking. I was like, I'm going to single task. I'm going to listen. I'm going to focus totally on Fears. So I stared down at the mattress so I wouldn't be distracted by the chat. But now that I am back with the chat, let's see what's been going on. What a loser. What's a clubhouse? A clubhouse is those are basically the people who control the community, kind of like I guess you would say they're kind of a homeowners association type thing. They're and like the clubhouse is like the place in the community where all the community meets and they have community meetings and stuff like that. And basically this guy's saying if you don't. But the thing is like my mom is sensitive to music that I have on, and the next day she didn't say jack crap. So hang up on Fears. Oh, I would have done that, Bell. Oh, I didn't see that in time. I actually was going to do that. But let's leave that at that. Does Fears goes by word count? Is that 4 single spaced or double? I'll ask him next time. Buying DVDs in this day and age. Well, the Ghost of these nuts. Here's the thing about that. Buying DVDs in this day and age, especially where Fears and I live, is actually a very good move because it is raining and storming so much that the power goes out. So he could play the DVDs on his computer while, everybody else is just sitting around, with their power out. Claire Audience says, I'm taking over the stream, of course. Claire Audience. Screech. Ghost Knees Nuts, LOL. Porn is so incredibly bad for you. Isn't that a poison? Belladonna, that is. Yeah, it is. Randy, don't you still have your projects before Fears, man? Yeah, but I told Fears I would do like a little 30-second thing for him. Yeah, did you finish your 2 projects? I don't think seen any new Camemans, but my YouTube feed has been wonky. I just might create some just like BS, like tiny, like little jokey thing. I believe in little red men. Oh shit, Claire Audience. You're on the phone with Run right now. Oh. Claire Audience, stirring up the pot. Stirring up the pot. Stirring up the pot. Who is this amazing man I see before me? Oh my. Yeah, I heard about the life forms on Mars, but it's super basic. Come on, Randy. You got to use that new degree. Activate that level 2 listening. You really ought to charge Fears if he keeps cutting into your projects. Kylie Smith's is Claire Audience trolling. It's okay. Don't worry about it, Kylie. But yeah, they were talking about level 2 listening and level 1 interesting and level 2 listening. And level 2 listening is where you think about what you're going to say. This is the bad kind of listening, by the way, where you think about, how this relates to you, what you're going to do, what you're going to say, and, advice giving. But level 2 listening is the good kind of listening where you is there a level 3? Not in this course, Ghosts. No, there's not. But on a level Ghosts, you're always welcome to come to my live stream. But yeah, level 2 listening is where you listen and you make sure that you're able to take in the information and summarize it back. Because if you can't summarize and talk about what you talked about, like what a person just said, then you're really not listening. Everyone have a wonderful night. Is that what we're talking about? Yeah, I told Fears, it's been such a long time that I'll make like a little jokey like teaser trailer for you, something that you can put on your channel. Hope everyone is doing good. I hope they're doing good too. Yeah. But yeah, they did find microbes on Mars. But there has been so much more stuff than that before. There's so much stuff that's coming out as far as Ancient Aliens goes that the evidence that there is some sort of higher power, whether it be spiritual or extraterrestrial, there's definitely something going on. Like one of the things they were talking about were star children, like children that were at such a high psychological level. Like they were talking about this yeah, a teaser trailer is going to be awesome to see if Fears Man 5. Yeah, there were star children, and the star children are beings that are on such a high level that they can, like this 2-year-old kid was basically reading by the time he was 10 months old. And then at age like 5, he was the youngest person ever to be inducted into British Mensa. And like I said, a normal IQ is like from 100 to 110. Anything above 120 is considered high IQ. But this kid was only like 5 years old, and he tested at an adult level IQ of 147. And this kid was off the charts. And all these scientists were saying, well, maybe this child has like a psychic connection to something extraterrestrial or, not of this world. And it was very interesting. I feel like if the universe is basically on the list, there's got to be some other multicellular level beings out there. Maybe Earth humans are the most advanced, but there have got to be space animals. Yeah, and Ghost. There are actually videos of outside one of the space shuttles. There's actually video of some organisms outside the space shuttles that were very like jellyfish like they actually look like Metroids from the video game Metroid. Randy, I think a funny stream video idea could be you and Fears doing an IQ test. Oh yeah, I'm sure that'd be lovely. Either together to see your collective IQ or separate. Speaking of stars, do you believe in astrology? No, I do not believe in astrology. But I actually do believe in palmistry because in palmistry, there's a lot of things that you can tell about a person from their hands. You can tell if somebody is a hard worker or doesn't work at all by the consistency of their hands. There are certain spots that will show up on the hand or the palm of the hand that will tell you their medical condition, whether they've got liver spots or, how hydrated or dehydrated they are by the consistency of the skin. And then also, some people that do things are going to have certain traits on their hands that other people do not, and you can tell whether a person, is married or not by whether they got a wedding ring on their finger, or what type of club they're in by the type of class ring that they have, or an NFL ring. So there's lots of different things that you can deduce. I'm not so sure I think palmistry is almost the art of palmistry is almost like an act of deduction and not an act of psychic readings. I'm pretty damn skeptical we've been visited or seeded by an ancient race. I'm sure other life is out there, but the distances are too astronomical to cross. Ghost Decent Nut says, I might be thinking of moon children. Yeah. I don't know, man. The space children thing is wonky. Is that just some fetishization of autistic people? That could possibly be. That could possibly be, because if you ever watch the movie The Predator, we had Predator and now The Predator. In the movie The Predator, the theory was that autism is the next stage of evolution, and that the autistic kid in there should have been the leader of the entire thing, when you could have made that theory work better if your movie's premise validated it. Like, basically in Predator, the kid kind of like bumbles his way through the plot in Predator. Like, the kid starts out, he's in school, then the alarms start going off and everybody like drops their chess pieces, and then as they all go out and then the alarm turns off, he goes around and he rearranges all the chess pieces exactly how they were. But like, most of the stuff is just the kid bumbling through life, like he basically like ignites the alien ship and starts playing with this like little control, and like as he's playing with like the fake ship, the real ship is like crashing into stuff. And then there's the part where he uses the Predator's mask as a Halloween mask, and he goes around house to house getting candy, and then somebody throws somebody in the top window of a house like throws a beer can at him, and basically the self-defense mechanism on the mask just like takes it and blows that guy away. So if your thesis was that autism is the next stage of human evolution, maybe this kid could have been a little bit more better of a planner and not just bumbling his way through the movie, because that was the premise of the movie, and that was pretty bad. Yeah, they didn't get a lot of backlash for that. There is some truth in autistic kid being next to evolution, since evolution is just random mutations, and whatever mutation is most beneficial becoming more widespread. Randy, can't wait to hang out again, man. We're not hanging out forever, Fears. I saw what you did. I'm up to you. Yeah. Oh, just kidding. But the way it's done in Predators was bad. Yeah. Yeah, and autistic people seem to be more peaceful than normal people. Ghost, it was awesome talking to you again, buddy. Come to the live stream again. Yeah, right, Randy. LOL, LOL. But are you really LOLing, Fears? Are you really? Are you LOLing? I don't think you really are. I think you're just like typing, just like, that's funny. Yeah. I don't think you're actually sitting there going, ho, 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 ho. Yo, that's so, ha, 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 ha. I don't think you're actually doing that, Fears. I don't think you're actually LOLing. I don't think you are. I think you're just sitting like, yeah, that's hilarious. Whatever. LOL. But anyways, yeah. So going back to listening fears. Yeah, I'm talking to you, man. Fears, yeah, I did take a course in listening, and like let me take out my notes, because one of the thing they said is you want to focus on what people want and not on what they don't want. And another thing is reflecting back, which is basically summarizing what people say so that they know you're listening. I didn't know there were autistic people in Predator. Not Predator, the Predator. Only in the newest one. Yeah, not Predator, the Predator. And that just goes to show you how original Hollywood is getting. Like, really, Hollywood is getting so unoriginal that they will literally call a movie, if the title doesn't have the in it, they'll just drop the. If it doesn't have the in it, they'll call it the, and then whatever the franchise is. Like, y'all know the movie Batman, right? Well, the next Batman movie we're getting is The Batman. Y'all remember that movie Predator, right? Well, this is the new movie, The Predator. Remember that old crappy movie Wolverine? Well, this is The Wolverine. And it's just like, hey, remember RoboCop? This is The RoboCop. I mean, they are literally getting that desperate to remake old movies. Oh, remember The Thing? We're going to call this Thing. Yeah, that's great. Hollywood, it seems to me like they're just cannibalizing old stuff. They're just like, let's take all the old stuff that worked and maybe it'll work again. And it's like, okay, whatever. There is research done where numbers make people not want to watch movies, since it makes them feel like they need to watch all the old ones beforehand. That's why you rarely see numbers in titles anymore. Really? That is interesting, but that boggles my mind right there. That is, you need to point that out to me. You need to point that article out to me. I would love to read that research. But it seems like now, not only now that they've eliminated numbers, it seems like there are stock sequel names, like Returns or Forever or Unlimited or Requiem. Because I mean, there's Batman Returns, and then there was Superman Returns. I think Predator Returns is just around the corner. Versus was a big thing for a while back in the 50s. Back in the 50s, they loved Versus. It was like Superman. It was like Frankenstein versus the Wolfman, Dracula versus the Wolfman, the Mummy versus the Wolfman, the Mummy versus Dracula. Back in the day, they had a lot of those movies, and honestly, I think if they made a lot of those movies today, it'd be Versus movies are fun. Yeah. I want to see Freddy versus Jason too, and I want a definitive ending. I don't want that bullshit ending where, oh well, Jason cut off Freddy's head, but look, Freddy's eyes open and he winks, so Freddy really won. I want a definitive ending. But we all know Freddy would win because Freddy is not a physical being, Jason is a physical being. You can shoot him, you can stab him, you can punch him. Freddy is just in your imagination, so although there was that part in part 1 and part 6 where they like grabbed him while they were in the dream world and they woke up, and Versus movies are fun besides Batman v Superman. I wish they went out of their way to make their original ending with Pinhead. Oh, is Pinhead supposed to be in that? I love Pinhead. I've got to say, my favorite Pinhead movie was what was the original movie called? It wasn't called Pinhead. Hellraiser. My favorite Hellraiser is Hellraiser 3 because it had Terry Farrell in there. And Terry Farrell, she was still doing her stint on Deep Space Nine as Dax. That was fun. There's a sequel to Freddy's vs. Jason. It's a comic called Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash. It's fun. Yeah, I think anything with Ash in it is fun. I was a big fan of Evil Dead 1, 2, and 3. Although they didn't call 3 Evil Dead 3. They called Evil Dead Ash. No, it was Ash versus the Army of Darkness. That was a cool movie. You know, Hellraiser 2 is my favorite. Yeah, there are some good movies in there were some good moments in Hellraiser 2. And you know, some of the most shocking, outrageous, and gory violence ever committed to movies was in Hellraiser 1, 2, and 3. After they went to 4, after they, you know, did Hellraiser in space, I was like, you know what, I'm tuning out. Because a lot of besides Hellraiser 1 and 2 and 3, mostly everything else was like direct-to-video. You know, I love Clive Barker and Hellraiser. Only the first 2 are good. I like 3 and 4, but I wouldn't really say they were good. Hellraiser is also what the Florida Highway Patrol calls Fears Razor. Yeah. Fears Razor. Yeah. Hellraiser. That's hilarious. That's hilarious, E. That is hilarious. And just for that, you blocked. No, just kidding. I don't block people. 5 Onward was garbage. The last 2 were corporate garbage that will only made so that they hold the license. Yeah, and that really is the demise of most movies. Just making the movies to hold the license. You don't want to do that. That's why the original Fantastic Four movie didn't get released, because they tried to make that movie as fast as possible before it went to the studio that it went to, and that movie was crap. It was crap. I hated it, you know? And like the ending is so cringy, you know, like you got the Fantastic Four, it's a wedding, and then the ending, oh my God, it was such a terrible effect. I mean, it's like one of those effects where I know how it's done. This is not funny. It's not goofy. It's not silly in a good way. Like the last shot of the Fantastic Four is Mr. Fantastic and Mrs. Fantastic. They're driving away in a limo, and it was just a rubber arm. That's all it was, a rubber arm, and there was just waving. And oh my God, I was like, this is so bad. It's cringe. I hate it. It's dumb. I think Clive Barker got the right spec, so next Hellraiser will potentially be good. However, I think it's a remake of the first movie, but truer to the book. Yeah. Clive Barker is one of the masters of horror. You know, like I think Wes Craven, he's one of the masters. John Carpenter, I think he's one of the masters. And then Clive Barker is definitely up there. Just to let you know, I didn't really block anybody. I was joking, you know. Nobody's really blocked. E can comment as much as E wants. What do you think of Clive Barker's New Nightmare? I saw it in the theater, but I don't remember if it was good. Was it Clive Barker's New Nightmare, or was it Wes Craven's New Nightmare? Because the thing about Wes Craven's A New Nightmare is that the 6th movie in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, Freddy died. It was called Freddy's Dead. Wes Craven. Yeah. And that was a cash grab to reinvigorate the franchise because like there are certain taglines in movies and novels, and one of the taglines is "This time it's for real," or "This time it's personal." And then but yeah, Wes Craven was going for the "This time it's for real." And it was interesting. It was trying to say that Wes Craven got the idea from an actual nightmare he had, and that the nightmares were real. But obviously, it was a movie; it wasn't a documentary. I mean, it had a director. All the actors were alive, so obviously, it was not real. I mean, obviously, Freddy Krueger is not an actual being who can actually kill people and maim them. But that was the direction the movie went into. And at the end, it turns out everybody's okay. And it was an interesting story. They were really trying to play up "This time it's for real," like how Jason 4 is the final chapter, but there was like 3 others. Here's the thing, Ghost to D's nuts. If there is a movie that says the final chapter, you can pretty much be guaranteed that there are going to be 4 to 5 other movies following that movie. They did that with Jason. They did it with Resident Evil. I'm pretty sure there was a final chapter of Nightmare on Elm Street that had like 5 or 6 movies. Actually, the final chapter in Freddy Krueger was supposed to be Freddy's Dead. They didn't even call it Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6. They called it Freddy's Dead. And, I think The Crow did that as well. I think there was a final chapter of The Crow. There are tons of The Crows out there. There's even a Crow series that not a lot of people watched. But yeah, I really liked The Crow too. But there were a lot of uncomfortable scenes in that movie. Because when The Crow 2 came out, I was like maybe 14 or 15. And I watched that with my mom's ex-husband. And there are some scenes in there that you just don't want to watch with anybody else around because they're too gross and obscene. I was like, wow, this is. But what I loved about The Crow 2 is every time the crow would kill somebody, there would be crow imagery all around them. Like if the crow drowns somebody in the lake, like there would be lilies on the lake, and all the lilies would form the crow symbol. And then one time, I think it was Thai Trang from Power Rangers got killed in she got dropped on this car, and the car's windshield exploded out, and all the windshield pieces made the crow symbol. And then I'm pretty sure the crow burned somebody alive in flames, and the guy went stumbling out into the street and fell down on the ground, and then the crow created a crow symbol with gasoline, and the crow symbol lit up. So it was a very visual film. There was a lot of crow visuals in The Crow 2. And the things that they did, I thought was pretty ingenious and pretty damn interesting. It was interesting. The part was true about Freddy being based on a nightmare that Craven had based on a real-life psychopath. Obviously, it was exaggerated. To be fair, Freddy's Dead was the last one in the main line for a long time, up until Freddy's versus Jason. A New Nightmare was before Freddy versus Jason. And, but I can't watch those things anymore. I try to focus on positivity, and, I don't watch a lot of horror movies anymore. Because I don't need nightmares, number one. And number two, it's just people being deplorable to each other, A New Nightmare doesn't take place in the main series. It's almost a remake. Yeah, that is true. But, I still have not watched Halloween, the original, all the way through. I still haven't watched it. I lose focus. And I try to focus on, how it's like cutting edge for the time it's made. And I try to watch it and then my mind just goes. Since that Freddy isn't really Freddy, it's some demon in the shape of Freddy. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, what I heard, Wes Craven got the idea for Freddy from was a janitor in his high school used to wear the same sweater and the same fedora to school every day, and everybody would make fun of him. And it said he looked kind of like a homeless bum, and that everybody thought he sucked and was a horrible person. So, and I think he said the guy's name actually was Freddy Krueger, and that Freddy Krueger was an Amish, and he was an Amish. Yeah, he was an Amish. As I walk through the valley where I harvest my grain, I take a look at my wife, and really, she's very plain. But that's just perfect for an Amish like me. I shun fancy things like electricity. No, he was an homage to the bummy janitor that Wes Craven had in his school. That is what I heard. Oh, that might be them in the origin of the outfit, but the kid stuff was based on a real guy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and there's yeah. It's so hard to get original ideas these days because, like sometimes I'll think really long and hard about an idea and then I'll be like, oh, you know what would be cool is if so and so did such and stuff, and I'm like, oh wait, that's basically the premise of Big. I'm like, oh, what if so and so did such and stuff, and I'm like, oh wait, that's basically the premise of Alien. It's so hard to come out with original stuff now these days. Like I kind of feel like almost everything has been done. Like there needs to be some dramatically new turns in like science, and because even stuff from olden days where back in the old days that they thought, oh well, wouldn't it be creepy if there was just like a twin brother of this guy? And now we have the twin brother thing, but the twin isn't a twin. The twin is really a clone or a robot. So it's basically like science is finding new ways of doing old things and old ideas and old concepts. It's like back in like the days of the soap operas, like once what's a soap opera, As Time Goes By or As the Sun Sets. A lot of the old tropes in those movies, like, oh, it's your baby, or oh, I'm pregnant, or oh, it's a twin brother. Like now it's like, oh, it's a test tube baby, or oh, it's a clone, or oh, it's a robot. You can't focus on creating an original idea. Everything has been done. You just got to write a story that speaks with you and changes things if it's not too similar. Yeah. See, the story of Romeo and Juliet has been done to death, and not just in the genre of like Renaissance romance. Like, and I think the key to creating something that's viable, not so much original, but viable, is to take an old story and then change a key element of it. Like, for example, you know, West Side Story is basically Romeo and Juliet, but instead of the Montagues and the Capulets, it's the Jets versus the Sharks. And then, Romeo and Juliet is also basically Underworld, but instead of instead of Montagues and Capulets, you have vampires and werewolves. Same deal with Twilight. Again, Twilight is Romeo and Juliet, but instead of Montagues and Capulets, it's vampires, werewolves, and other spirit creatures. And then there are so many sequels to Romeo and Juliet. It's nuts. and sequels that you wouldn't even like think of Romeo and Juliet, but when you do think of them, they're like, oh yeah, it is kind of like such and such meets such and such, like Dracula is basically Romeo and Juliet with humans and vampires, so there's tons of different permutations. All you need is the slant. You need a slant or an angle that you can attack something at, a slant or an angle or some sort of like little plot device, like, oh, it's Romeo and Juliet, but the guy is actually in love with himself. Yeah. Or something like that. And then they had the movie Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but they did their slant was when Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, when Mr. Hyde breaks out, guess what? Mr. Hyde is actually Miss Hyde, which they did with the voice of Superman from Superman Adventures. Well, I wouldn't say Dracula is Romeo and Juliet, maybe more of a modern retelling, but the original book is definitely not. Yeah. I'm talking about the one with Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder. Would you only be with a Jehovah's Witness? Pretty much, yeah. Kylie, I'm going to defer my answer because I honestly don't know. There is a Jehovah's Witness that I'm looking at right now that I would really like to be with. But, oh yeah, that one I can see. Would I only be with a Jehovah's Witness? That is a tough question. Number one, I can't really answer that because I'm not looking for anyone right now. I really want to build on my success and build my career as a screenwriter and something. And I really want to focus on myself for now. And then is the JW swimming pool big? Yeah. About 8 million people are Jehovah's Witnesses throughout the earth. I don't know. I really want to focus on my career, and I want to, as long as my mom is alive, I want to focus on taking care of my mom. But if she bucks the kick it, then I'm going to go into hyper overdrive to make a name for myself, to, start making my own living and pay off my debts, my college debts. Have you dated only Jehovah's Witnesses? I haven't dated any Jehovah's Witnesses. The last person I dated was like in 2013, 2014. And around that time, I was interested in the Jehovah's Witnesses, but I wasn't hardcore. I became like a hardcore Jehovah's Witnesses in like 2016, 2017. But again, there is this woman that I really like. She's not on Facebook, but her name is Amber, and she's really cool. And I think she'd make a really good mom. And I have talked to her on at least 40 different occasions. And every time she's met me, she's been really nice and cool. But unfortunately, with COVID, we do all our meetings online now. And if I wanted to ask her out, I would have to find out her phone number and where she lives. And the only way to do that right now would be to ask her father, which would be really awkward. Be like, hey, can I date your daughter? So that's very mature, Randy. There isn't use getting into a relationship if you were working on yourself. That's begging for relationship issues. How'd y'all meet? We met at the Kingdom Hall. And again, she's very beautiful and she's been very nice to me. I don't know whether she was being nice to be nice or whether she's actually interested in me. So, but again, we do all our meetings via Zoom. Jehovah's Witnesses do not congregate together anymore in physical places because of Corona. We're very careful about that. And we're so, But I talked to her father. He works at Walmart, and I'm trying to think of like a cordial way of like inviting her over to my house or, getting her number, but I do not know. But mostly for the next 3 or 4 years, I want to focus on me. How old is she? I think she's 32, 33, and I'm 41. So yeah, but she's really cute and she's really beautiful, and she actually looks like a young Scarlett Johansson. So, you know, invite her out for coffee. Yeah. And like I said, Ghost, that's the thing. I don't have her number, and we're not interacting anymore. Like, we're interacting on Zoom, and when you're in a Zoom hangout, you have like 40 other people in that hangout. So I can't like really ask her out in front of 40 other people because number one, that would put immense pressure on her. And then number two, she might not be ready. With all due respect, it seems odd to ask her dad when you're all in the 30s and 40s. Well, I know I'm not saying I would ask her dad to ask me out, but I don't have contact with her. I don't have her number. There's no way that I can ask her out unless I ask her out on Zoom. And when we're all in the Zoom chat, all 40 people can hear what you're saying. So do Google Meetup private show. Yeah. Yeah. But again, yeah. We'll see. And again, like I'm trying to work on myself. She sounds nice. Hope it works out. Thank you, Kylie. I appreciate that. Yeah. So let me see here. Yeah. So the last horror movie that I will probably watch will probably be Halloween. Because that is Fierce's favorite film. And there's been a lot of movies where I didn't like the movie until like 3/4 of the way through, and then when I got to the very end, I was like shocked and amazed. I was like, "Holy crap!" One of those movies is Fight Club. If you're one of the people out there who have only watched Fight Club 3/4 of the way through, you are. Why don't you? Yeah, why don't y'all in fear? Very funny, Kylie. Very funny. BFF marriage. Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah, if you guys haven't watched Fight Club all the way through, watch it all the way through. Yeah. So if you haven't watched Fight Club all the way through, I urge you to watch that last 25% because that last 25% hits you and it hits you hard, I watched Fight Club when it came out. I watched it like 8 times 3/4 of the way through, and I was like, "Oh, this is a crappy movie. I don't see what everybody loves about it. It seems like really boring and blasé." And then I watched the last 25%, and I was like, mind blown. Like, there is some quality Shyamalan-esque ending. Like all the good Shyamalan films that you've seen, like Unbreakable and The Sixth Sense and all those good ones that you've seen, that is what the ending of Fight Club is like. It once you see that last 25% of the movie, it will change your entire mind about the entire rest of the movie. You'll be like, "Oh my god, he was this guy and that, and then he did that, and then it was." So definitely check it out. So I basically said I wanted to go for an hour. It's 1:04, 1 hours and 4 minutes right now. I'm going to leave it open for about 6 more minutes. Claire Audience says, you should ask Kylie out, Randy. Yeah. But yeah, if you got any good questions, I'll leave it open for 5 more minutes, and then if nobody else has any ideas, I'm gonna wrap it up there. But yeah, again, I took a listening class. You want a vid chat, Kylie? You want a private show? Goes to D's Nuts. How is the Breenius writing been going? I never really write the any of the Breen saga. I basically just make it up as I go along, which is really what else do you like in Edward Norton? And liked him in but Randy Amber. Yep. What else do you like Edward Norton in? He was really good in Primal Fear. Primal Fear was really good. Primal Fear was the story of this guy with split personalities, and they never knew. It starred Richard Gere, and Richard Gere was playing a psychologist who was trying to decide whether Edward Norton really was insane, whether he really did have a split personality or whether he didn't. And the end of the movie has a really good twist ending. I really liked him in The Incredible Hulk. I thought that was a good movie for what it was. The Incredible Hulk was really before the MCU took off. It was around the Iron Man 1 era. And then Edward Norton was also good in The Ghost of D's Nuts. Maybe you should get, I know he likes to work on himself in that. Maybe. Yeah, and The Ghost of D's Nuts, that's basically why I took it, to see if Fears would like it. So we are now at the 7-minute mark right now. So I'm going to leave it open for 3 more minutes. We got some questions. Launch them out there. I don't care for Norton, but he was great on American History X. Yeah, that was an intense movie, and I believe that was a Spike Lee joint. And I'll tell you, if you ever seen Old Boy with Josh Brolin, I'll tell you, there's a scene in there that made me think, oh my God, Josh Brolin should be the next Terminator, and Spike Lee should direct it. Because in Josh Brolin's Old Boy, he plays a character who gets locked up for 20 years in a room. And I liked him in Birdman. I have yet to see Birdman, and I will check that out. But yeah, there's a scene in Old Boy where Josh Brolin he's like locked in a trunk, and he comes out, and there's these people that start messing him as soon as he gets out. And Josh Brolin grabs this guy, takes him, slams him face down into the ground, and the guy's back does a C shape. I was like, holy crap. Claire Birdman is a great movie. Yeah, I'll check it out. If I can get it on Prime, I'll check it out. I heard Birdman is supposed to be shot all in one shot, but they edited it together, so it's many shots in one. But yeah, I would like to see it because it looks like there's I believe Jay Inoratu is the guy that directed it, the same guy who directed It's Pretty Interesting. It's Been Pretty Interesting. Or Norton, I barely remember him. What was his deal? He was flirting with Birdman girl. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, Birdman's editing is super good. Yeah. So we have 1 more minute left. 1 more minute. So y'all better throw some good stuff out, or I will see you later. This is the Batusi symbol. I'm doing the Batusi. It's funny about the first episode of Batman is in the first episode of Batman goes full on Boy Scout, and he says, "No, Robin, this club is for 21 and older. You're only 18. You can't go in." And then the first thing that happens to Batman when he goes inside the club is he talks to a girl and he gets roofied. And you would assume that Batman would be like worldly, like a man of the world, like that would know not to take a drink from strange random women that he's only known for 1 minute. And then it turns out she's the Riddler's girlfriend. Oh, man. Crazy episode. Crazy. So we are 5 seconds from the 10-minute mark. So I'm going to end it there. Just wanted to say, hey, everybody, this is Randy Brown for the 2 a.m. streams. My name is Randy Brown for Cammyman 2021 and the Mirror of Magic. Someone slipped Bats a Mickey. That's hilarious. Yes, you think Bats would know better than that. Criterion Collection. What's your fave? I don't know much of the Criterion Collection, and I'm about to go. Bye, Randy. Bye, Kylie. That sounds like something Joker would get someone to do. It was the Riddler, Frank Gorshin's Riddler. So my name is Randy Brown for Cammyman 2021 and the Mirror Magic, and I will see you later, alligator. You enjoyed this show and you had a good time. I enjoyed this show and I had a good time. See you later. Bye.